Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Gemini energy, and like usual, we're going to do two rows because we have to make free will decisions and we have a dualistic nature. So the top row is going to be what we refer to as high vibe Gemini energy, and the bottom row is a more worldly, shadowy Gemini energy, because we can all want to change our life and have hope and faith and belief in our dreams and do life differently, but we're kind of tempted by these things of the world and staying in our comfort zone and maybe staying in our fear or insecurity, or tempted in our pride and our ego or codependent nature to keep living life the way we've been living it. And so some people could still be debating within themselves, and some other people are moving forward in life differently. You know, when we were 15, we viewed life a certain way. When we were 18, we kind of detached from some old ways of being, and we kind of grew up and matured ourselves and faced our fears. And sometimes when some people are ready to move forward in life differently, some other people in our life aren't ready to move forward in life differently. And we just see the truth of it. Who's ready, kind of on the same page as we are, who's kind of healed and grown and matured and looked at life differently, has learned how to play nicely with others, are willing to do equal give and take, who's motivated by love, who's not motivated by love. You know, some people don't want to do love. They can get hurt doing that. And for their whole life, they could operate from their more emotionally defensive, egoic nature, and they never let their more authentic nature out to play in the world. And we just need to see the truth of that. If you want to be in deep, meaningful, loving relationships versus relationships that might seem a little more superficial and shallow, you just need to see the truth of who's who. So let's get out these last cards and see what's going on in different people's lives, depending on how they harness their Gemini energy. And we all tap into Gemini energy. It has to do with what we align with in our dualistic nature. Do we have hope and faith and belief in love, in ourself, in our dreams? Have we kind of abandoned loving and believing in ourselves, or believing in our dreams? So the reason for the bottom row's reading is the Two of Swords. It's also why the reading came out. Sometimes some people are moving forward in life differently because some other people did listen to their intuition, and those people did move forward in life differently. And some other people, the Two of Swords, some people could feel stuck. The truth sets us free. And sometimes we just haven't seen the truth. We've all got lessons to learn in life. And if we haven't realized how we might be repeating an old pattern, and the only card showing itself in the bottom row is the Two of Pentacles, which can be juggling. You know, again, we have a dualistic nature. We can pick this or we can pick that. Some people can't decide. The Two of Swords and Libra energy can talk about people who can't decide. You know, it's like, I want that and I want that. It's like, well, you know, and sometimes people have different people they could be in a relationship with. I know if I go with the hopeful, believing, loving nature, they do want me to maybe grow up, mature myself, heal, have hope, you know, be more aligned with my loving nature, which could cause me some fear and insecurities about being more authentically myself in the world. And I'd have to put in work and effort to kind of grow and mature and heal myself. If I got in a relationship with someone who's more about the world, then I could make my life about ego and image or indulgence or whatever it is that we make our life about other than love. And maybe I wouldn't have to be just and fair. Maybe I could be immature. Maybe I could be bossy or controlling or prideful or egotistical or immature. You know, what kind of people do I want to hang out with? And some people are stuck because they are unwilling to pick a path. I want to present myself as high vibe so people will get in a relationship with me. But then when I get in a relationship with them, then I kind of think maybe I want this. Then if I get in a relationship with people who are more about ego and image or indulgence, well, then I could feel like they're not very loving and warm and giving. And then I kind of want to be back in a relationship with the loving people, and they just can't decide. Then we have three cards not showing themselves. For some people who have decided, I don't want to pick a path. I want to juggle. Then the Two of Pentacles can be, I really don't want to really like invest in someone. Maybe I just want to be immature and indulge myself in relationships. And as long as someone doesn't know the truth about me, that's what the Two of Swords can be. They're still confused about the truth of who I am. Well, then I can keep juggling them. And that might be how somebody wants to live their life the rest of their life. I just want to kind of, in shadowy, more worldly, egoic energy, more immature energy, I don't want to have to decide. I'm going to go find people who don't know the truth of who I am, and I will juggle them. So then, with these cards not showing themselves, they could be hiding the fact that they've been in relationships with other people, and some people who harness these energies in a high vibe way have left their life. But they don't want the people they're in a relationship with, because shadowy energy is trying to confuse people about the truth. I don't want you to know that those people are high vibe. I'm going to try to confuse you about the truth of who those people are. And I also might be hiding that I do harness these energies in a more shadowy way, worldly way, immature, selfish, self-centered way, but I don't want you to know that. And the Gemini energy is represented by the Magician, which can be trying to, again, confuse people about the truth, create an illusion. It's represented by the Lover's card, but some people, what they love is themselves or these things of the world. And it's also represented by the Knight of Swords, which can be being defensive to the truth. I don't want to see the truth. I don't want you to see the truth. Let's keep staying in denial of the truth that maybe this really isn't love, but let's do it anyway. Let's keep in a relationship. You know, it's good for our ego and our image and our status and these things of the world. Let's just do that. So let's go see what these three cards are. The Knight of Cups, the Eight of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. Some shadowy, kind of more worldly based people have maybe had people in their life that had, in Pisces energy, had hope and faith and belief and love. But those people were trying to offer them love to get out of this illusion. You're either dealing with the truth and you're being just and fair and honest and authentic and loving, or you kind of want to live a life of illusion. And they were trying to offer them love to get out of illusion. The Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups, which is about illusion, and maybe a more emotionally shallow, superficial way of living life or being in a relationship. And they wanted them to go to the Nine of Cups, being more independent. You know, set yourself free from things that manipulate you. Why? You know, love is the highest energy of all. It's been, ever since we've been children, if we're in loving and encouraging and supportive environments, we thrive. And again, some people like to be in relationships with people who are like that, but they don't really want to be that type of person. And they've had people who have tried to help them, offered love and encouragement and resources to try to get them to work through their emotional issues that make them not do love or be more independent or love themselves. And eventually the high vibe people in the Four of Pentacles realized like their dream wasn't going to come into reality. And because these people hold back and they have this illusion about what it means to be in relationships, they harness these energies in a more shadowy way. In their more shadowy Pisces energy, two cards of Pisces energy, they kind of have these illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. And they might not ever want to deal with the truth of it. I think I love love. Let's get in a relationship. Let's go indulge ourselves in a relationship. But then I want to hold back and I don't want to really give of myself. And I also have this way of living life and viewing life in the Four of Pentacles that I really hold on to. I don't want to have to look at life any differently. I don't want to expand my perception of myself in the world, how I view life, how I view me, how I view you, how I view relationships. I don't want to add to my philosophy of life. I'm maybe about the world. I may be more about me. I may be kind of selfish or greedy or all about me, or don't like to open up, don't really like to be more authentically loving in a relationship. I want to do life like this. And eventually the high vibe people held back from them and they walked away. It's like, if you're not willing, the reason for the top rose reading is the Ten of Pentacles, which is a truly abundant foundation because it's balanced. High vibe energy is about being balanced. Love is supposed to be just and fair. We're supposed to treat other people the way we like to be treated. And some people don't want to do that. I don't really want to be just and fair. I'm a little bit more about me, or I'm a little bit more about my ego and my image or indulgence. And that's how I want to live my life. And some people saw the truth of it. It's like, you know what? You can live your life whatever way you want. That's your idea of the dream life. Just need to go find someone else who wants to live their life like that way also. Because I don't. From the 4 to the 10 is taking back the 6 of Pentacles. And 6 of Pentacles is Taurus energy, which has to do with our philosophy of life. If this is your philosophy of life, and my philosophy of life is I want to learn lessons in life. The 10 of Pentacles is Virgo energy. My long-term goal isn't just to indulge in these things of the world or make my life in my Capricorn energy about ego and image and money and indulgence. It's about letting go of that more worldly view of life. Yes, there are these things of the world. We all want stability and security and enjoy the finer things in life. But I'm not willing to sacrifice love or authentic relationships or my dreams and living my authentic life to have those things. But some other people are. And some people saw the truth of it. We come in contact with all these different people in the world to help us get clear about what our truth is and what our truth isn't. And we get in relationships with people and we're trying to figure out in the 2 of Pentacles and the 2 of Swords, are we on the same page? Aren't we? In a lot of ways, we could get along. Needless, we like each other. There's a lot of commonality. But over time, we could realize that in our Pisces energy of our ideas of what would be an emotionally fulfilling dream life, and the foundation that is a core foundation within us is different. Theirs is more about themselves or the world, and other people's is about hope and faith and belief and love. And some high vibe people were no longer willing, in the 6 of Pentacles, can talk about exchanging time, energy, effort, and hugs and kisses with people. I'm taking that back because your philosophy of life and the idea of the dream life and what drives and motivates you is different than my philosophy of life. And I am willing to not make it so much about me or the world. I want a balance of these things, and where we do high vibe Virgo, again, is about learning lessons, healing, growing, maturing, growing to your full potential, becoming more independent of things that manipulate you. Your fear, your insecurity, your pride, your ego, your defensive nature, your immature nature, your stubborn nature, bossy, controlling, whatever nature, defensive nature. And some people realized, and some people are just now kind of starting to maybe listen to their intuition about some people that they're in relationships with. How long am I going to keep trying to get someone to change how they view the world, how they view themselves? Did I listen to my intuition when I got in this relationship? Was it screaming at me? And I said, yeah, but I want this, God. And so I'm going to be in denial. I'm not going to listen to my intuition. I'm going to try to balance things out with this person. Even though our intuition could have been telling us there's something wrong here. I don't think this is going to work. They're kind of seem to be a little shut down, not very open, not very giving. I mean, they might want to be in the relationship, but why? Are they really motivated by love, or is it something else? And we've all got these lessons to learn. I think eventually the people who are willing to have a desire to be more balanced within themselves. And if they start to see things seem to be tipping out of balance, where that can be like a shadowy Six of Pentacles relationship where there's not equal give and take from love. It can feel like people are exchanging resources with each other, but shadowy energy can be where one person can feel like, I should be deferred to a little bit in this relationship. It should be a little bit more tilted in my favor, a little bit more about me for some reason. And maybe because in their mind of what they think is just and fair, if they are someone in their Capricorn energy of self that kind of maybe didn't invest in being more independent in the world and put more work and effort into emotionally investing in these things of the world, and if they have a certain status or image or social clout or they're attractive or whatever they got, they could think people should kind of defer to me in a relationship. You should want to kind of indulge me in a relationship and make it more about me because I make it more about me. And some of those people are still in denial of the truth that that's how they view life and relationships, that they're a little bit more or a lot more about themselves. And they really don't, people who are loving and high vibe Pisces energy, your cup can overflow. You know how to fill your own cup emotionally. You can freely give to other people because you can replenish your own cup. But some people really haven't learned how to do that within themselves. And they could live more aligned with from their mind and the world and maybe their defensive egoic nature, and they want to be in relationships, but they could think that it's someone else's job to love them. Like, that's how I view relationships. I might have these things of the world. Because I have these things of the world, I'm looking for other people to love me. Like, isn't that the point? And that's just their philosophy of life. If I have these things of the world, people will want to be in a relationship with me, and then they should love me because I have these things of the world, whatever I got. I'm attractive, I have sex with someone, I got status, image, whatever. And that can be how some people view life and view relationships. And then they don't think they really do what they bring to the table is the Two of Swords being Libra energy, which is also represented by the Justice card. By worldly standards, they could, because Capricorn is like worldly standards, they could look like, I have like justice in the world. I have these things of the world that people want. And if I have these things of the world that people want, at the big picture, shadowy energy is represented by the devil, and high vibe energy is represented by God. I think because I have these things of the world, people should love me. And people should want to emotionally invest in me. And people should want to move forward in a relationship with me. And people should want to be in relationship with me. But I'm not really in high vibe energy of love. And they would maybe be willing to indulge people in the world if they were in a relationship with someone who had those things of the world that they want. But love really could be optional. Because what could be more important to them is these things of the world: status, ego, image, money, materialism. And if they think, well, I would indulge someone for those things, therefore, if I have those things, you should indulge me. And some people are realizing, I can't change other people. The only person I can change is me. So let's go up to the top row. We have the Page of Swords and the Ten of Swords, Ace of Cups, Six of Pentacles, Lover's card, and the World card. So the Ten of Pentacles here, so it's the reason why the reading came out. Realizing that someone they were in a relationship with also kind of harnessed their Virgo energy differently. What their long-term goal was in more worldly Virgo energy is to invest in themselves or these things of the world. Not really being being tipped out of balance, where people who harness high vibe Virgo energy just have a more balanced view of life. Like, I do want those things also, but I'm not willing to give up my dreams and give up love and, being in jobs and friendships and relationships with people that I maybe don't even enjoy. I want a truly abundant life, and that's a balance of both. And I don't need it all. I don't need all of the attention. I don't need all of the money. I don't need all whatever. But for some people, shadowy energy, the devil talks about those things that limit us, restrict us, confine us, imprison us. For some people, enough is never enough. I need to drink more. I need to do more drugs. I need more attention. I need all these things. And enough is never enough. High vibe energy is more balanced. I have enough, and I kind of like more? Yes, but there's trade offs. I would have to sacrifice something to not make my life just about that. And high vibe people are like, I want a balance. And that could be why some people aren't letting go, because there's something, again, it could just be the truth. I hold back from listening to my intuition. Their intuition could be screaming at them. You're being selfish. You're being egotistical. You're being stubborn. You're being more about yourself. You're not really investing in people. You create illusions in relationships. But they keep thinking, no, 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 I can do this. Why would some people be afraid of listening to their intuition? Because their intuition might tell them to step out of their comfort zone and quit doing what they're doing. And those things that they do and the way they live their life and the way they view their life makes them feel stable and secure at this moment. And we've all kind of been there. Why aren't we all more bold and brave and confident? Because we're not there yet. So we hold on to a way of living life because we're not ready. But the thing is, some people will never be ready. So the high vibe energy of the Page of Swords is air sign energy of Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Kind of like in my more hopeful, believing inner child nature, I have a dream, and I could have gotten in jobs, friendships, and relationships where I kind of realized that wasn't my truth, or I felt people were juggling me, or I felt people were indulging in a relationship with me, or people were being, I don't know, don't want to deal with the truth. Maybe try to confuse me about the truth. Maybe try to manipulate me. And I don't find that to be loving. I don't think that's what emotionally mature, loving people do. Could they have love for me? Could I love them? Yes. But life is about learning lessons. And some people haven't learned how to play nicely with other people. And shadowy energy is, well, I don't really want to do the truth. I might not really want to be just and fair. I might not want to act with character and integrity. I might try to present myself as being that type of person. But really, I just can't really. I kind of go back and forth. One day I'm loving, the next day I'm bitchy and rude. One day I'm giving of myself, and the next day I'm not. It's just. And eventually people are like, you know what? I need to be in a relationship with someone who has worked through some of these issues just like I have, and kind of has that more hopeful, believing spirit about the world and life and love. And I have picked a path. The Ten of Swords is Gemini energy. You know, I have to put an end. The tens can talk about the completion of a cycle. I could have gotten in a relationship because the pages can represent, I was in more codependent energy. And we've all been children, we've all grown up in families, which is kind of codependent energy. We're looking to other people outside of us to love us and validate our worth and value, and maybe looking to the world to validate our worth and value, and not really living our more authentic life and freeing ourselves from being manipulated by the world and being in more codependent energy. I need to learn to love me. So then the Six of Pentacles and Taurus energy can be about my philosophy of life. Do I love me? The Lover's card. I can keep being in codependent energy. I can keep staying in denial of the truth. But something about the way I was living my life at one time, it could have seemed like living the dream life. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be so happy. I want to do this forever. Well, we all thought that at 15 years old too. Well, then as we got older, we kind of looked at life differently, and it's like, oh, that was great when I was 15, but now I'm 18. And, I am ready to look at life differently and face my fears and believe in myself. And I gave up a more immature version of myself because I saw it was stopping me from emotionally kind of investing in loving what I could be, growing to my full potential. And if I keep living my life the way I'm living it, I'm never going to grow to my full potential. And I'm never going to free myself from some of my fears and my insecurities and my self-limiting beliefs and my more immature ways of being. So high vibe people decide I have to stop investing emotionally in people whose philosophy of life, the Lover's card used to be called the Choice card, but also people who more love the world. And if I don't want to be in a relationship where the whole reason I'm in the relationship is more because I love the world, these things of the world I want to indulge in, or ego and image and status as a primary factor in my life, then I need to stop investing in those people. I need to get out of my more immature and codependent way of viewing life. And I need to incorporate this more hopeful, believing, loving nature into my philosophy of life, because our Taurus energy is what kind of dictates the decisions that we make in our life. The Taurus Hierophant energy is like the Supreme Court in our own head. We debated back and forth, our high vibe and low vibe battled within each other in our subconscious or in our conscious. And the Taurus Hierophant is like, what is the law of the land? And we all could have been more tipped out of balance because we all grow up in the world. We're all really motivated by these things of the world. We all want these things of the world. And kind of realizing it was kind of keeping us tipped out of balance. And I want a more balanced relationship between my worldly nature and my loving, intuitive nature. And I want my loving nature to kind of be in the driver's seat of my life, and my more worldly, immature nature to sit in the back seat. And I will offer it love and compassion to help it grow up and mature itself, because the world card's about learning lessons. That, yes, there are these things of the world and there are these people we would like to be in relationship with. But if they're not wanting to see the truth or grow up or heal or mature themselves in some way, to just be at whatever emotional level we are. Again, if you're 25, you probably don't want to go out with a 15-year-old. Just the way they view life and their maturity level and kind of their coping mechanisms, aren't the same as some other people. So it's not like these people up in high vibe energy are, it's just wanting to be with people who kind of view life the same way you do. And even the more worldly, shadowy people, they, in comparison to some other people that they're maybe not being in relationship with, are because those people are more immature or bossy or controlling or lack more self-discipline than they do. Life is all just about learning these lessons, and we want to be in relationships with people who are on the same page as us. And so I would say the high vibe people, the more people learn lessons from the 4 to the 10, some people have learned a lot more lessons in life. Virgo energy, about being more self-aware about why I would do what I would do, being aware what kind of tempts me to act in a more immature, prideful, defensive way. And if that's not how I want to live my life, I need to work through, why would I do that? If it would be because I'm tempted in my immaturity, well, I want to love myself and be proud of myself, so I'm not going to act in immature ways. I'm going to offer love to the situation, because love is being enlightened to the truth that if I want something to move forward in a just and fair and balanced way, I can't be immature. Kind of more about indulging me. Oh no, oh, was I selfish and greedy? Was I not really taking other people into consideration? It was just more about me. Oops. You know, we have to offer love to the situation, and we need to close out old cycles in our life. Not the shadowy energy can represent kind of repeating some poor past patterns. And it's like, no, I've already been there and I've done that, and I know life's about learning lessons. That didn't work out the way I wanted. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I've already learned that lesson. So I'm going to offer love to the people in my life who are the people in my world in high vibe that are loving and encouraging and supportive and authentic and self-disciplined, that work together with me in a very balanced, abundant, loving way. Why would I backstab that? But, sometimes you can get in relationships with people and they create this illusion that they're a much more emotionally mature, stable, grounded, just, fair person than they are. And then, when things come up in the world that could tempt them, they got some lessons to learn. And some of those people decided to try to juggle some loving, encouraging, supportive people in their life because they got some lessons to learn. And now some of those people they kind of backstabbed some loving, encouraging people in their life. And the loving, encouraging people, instead of staying in denial, they could have, it takes time to work through that. If somebody backstabs you, kind of puts you up in your head, can get you up in your ego. You're wondering why they're doing that. Why are they acting like that? Because you viewed them a certain way, but they did something that seems to be contradictory to the type of person that you thought they were. But it's kind of like God kind of working with people, it's like we gotta sift and sort periodically. Are you still on the same page? You guys might have been on the same page at one time. Are we still on the same page? Or does one of you have some unresolved issues that you haven't dealt with, and you should really let that person go because they don't have some of those same unresolved issues? Or they still have hope and faith and belief in love, and they're trying to work through it. But if one person really isn't kind of ready to move forward in that way, doesn't kind of have some of the coping mechanisms, or they still have these things that tempt them, then it all can happen to sift some people out of your life. And then the high vibe people offer love to it to keep maintaining balance within themselves, stay in the energy of love, and do this work within themselves to close out that chapter in their life, quit exchanging resources with those people. If those people made the free will choice, I'm not ready to move forward in this way. It's like, okay, I can stay in my shadowy energy. I can stay in denial. I can sit here juggling, waiting for other people to grow up and mature themselves. But, learning lessons in life doesn't happen overnight. That can take years or decades. For some people, it takes a lifetime, and they still never learn some of those lessons. So to kind of get out of our ego about it, that if we were on the same page, we would have moved forward together. Everybody's maybe got some healing and growing and maturing to do in different ways at different times. We wish it peace, to work through it, to set ourselves free, knowing our worth and value and high vibe Virgo energy. Take the lessons that we learned from that life experience that, again, maybe it was all to teach us that you didn't really listen to your intuition when you got in that relationship. Or there were things that were coming up that your intuition was trying to tell you something's wrong, but you didn't want to see the truth. And of course, we didn't want to see the truth because then it meant we had to take action in truth. And that could have ended the relationship, and we weren't ready to end the relationship. So we kind of kept juggling. Some people are still doing that right now. And there might be some people, if we got out of situations, we could have communicated to some people. I'm no longer invested in something I had been invested in. And now I'm moving forward and I'm looking to get in relationships with people who are on the same page as me. Are you on that same page? Are you not? If some of those people aren't investing in us moving forward in that way, for some of them, they already moved forward in that way with other people. Well, we were off learning lessons. And we have to accept the truth of that too. They could wish the other high vibe people in the world are like, I'm glad that you got out of that situation, but I'm already exchanging resources with loving people. And I did close out that chapter, so I won't be getting back in a relationship with you. Just like some of you could be saying that to some people who might communicate with you. I think even if I haven't moved on with new people, I'm not the same person I was before. And if you thought I was still in denial of the truth of who you are, if I thought you were kind of shadowy, I'm glad you maybe got out of some things that were manipulating you, but I don't have an interest of being back in a relationship with you. I think we've kind of found a new balance, and I think this relationship works for me. So I'm going to keep going on with my life, and I wish you peace. I hope your life works out for you, but, and that is, we don't want to do it out of pride and ego. High vibe people are happy that we need more healed people, more emotionally mature people in the world. Some people who didn't move forward with some loving people, we have some lessons to learn. Those people could have thought, maybe I can get someone else to get in a relationship with me. I don't maybe want to have to step out of my comfort zone and do life differently, and the loving people in my life did want me to put an end to my more worldly view of life, and I really don't want to do that. That is maybe how I define my worth and value, or I like indulging in those things that I indulge in. And I think maybe I can juggle those people. They'll be confused why I didn't move forward with them. And then I think I can maybe go get in a relationship with someone else, maybe a Capricorn, or just someone who's more about the world, they could think. But the whole thing is when we're acting more out of pride or ego or lust or greed or immaturity, our judgment is kind of clouded. And some of the people that they could have went to go get in a relationship with, they might not have been seeing them clearly. They could be a little bit more about the world and things like that than some of the other people that they were in a relationship with. But they also could want to be in more emotionally independent relationships. And maybe they thought somebody would be really more about the world. And maybe they were more independent than they thought from the world, even though that could be a big focus in their life. Or they could have thought after they were in the relationship for a while that it's like, they could have gotten the feeling, I think you're juggling. Like, why'd you get out of the relationship with these people who seem to be loving and nurturing and stable? It looks like you had it going on. You had the 10 of Pentacles. Why did you end that relationship? And then they might feel like someone is just indulging in a relationship with them, or it could be because they're more driven by ego and image and indulgence or money or materialism. And then those people, if they felt this person wasn't quite telling them the truth or kind of juggling them, like, I don't know, if you're trying to get the high vibe people to do the relationship the way you want and you are being like kind of stubborn, but I don't want to be juggled, so I'm going to hold back from you and listen to my intuition, and I'm going to leave. So some of the people who did juggle, they could feel stuck right now. For others of them, they might be juggling someone new. And again, we either see the truth of why things didn't work out, and we have to see the truth about ourselves. How did I contribute to something not working out and moving forward the way I wanted? How am I immature? All these shadowy traits and characteristics I've mentioned. What about the people I was in a relationship? Was I not seeing them clearly? Well, if I don't want to repeat that pattern, I have to see the truth also about the type of people I get in a relationship with. You know, is it just because I kind of want to be in a relationship and kind of indulge in a relationship? I don't really listen to my intuition. Am I in much more codependent energy? And some people are. They could be in shadowy energy, which can mean that just feeling unstable, ungrounded, you know, don't know how to love themselves, don't know how to maintain balance within themselves. And so they could get in relationships just to feel more balanced and stable within themselves. But if they don't want to see the truth of it and that maybe they should do some of this inner work within themselves to work through those issues, so they quit kind of getting in relationships just to feel more stable and grounded, and then they get in them, and then they maybe don't really want to be in them, or they get in relationships with people they really shouldn't have gotten in a relationship with. How many times are they going to do that over and over before they're willing to deal with the truth of the situation? And some people may never do that. And then kind of what can comes around goes around, that some of the people who were trying to juggle people, like, well, I like to present myself like this, but when something comes up that I might want to go indulge myself in, I'm going to try to confuse people about the truth of why I didn't keep moving forward in a more maybe loving relationship, because I don't want people to know I'm immature or I'm defensive or I'm prideful or I'm materialistic or I'm kind of more about myself. So they're always kind of juggling the truth with people, hiding that they do maybe find it more emotionally fulfilling to make their life more about these things of the world, an ego, an image, or indulgence than love. And they could have thought they could juggle, but some of the high vibe people in their life worked through the mental confusion of it. And it's like, well, for one, did you backstab me? Did we talk all through this? So it did come to an end and we both, what is that? A conscious uncoupling? Or did you backstab me? I don't think loving people backstab people. Maybe unless you're kind of immature and got a lot of growing up and maturing to do. And I have done this work within myself to feel very, very stable and abundant in myself while you are off juggling other people in your life or whatever. And I'm no longer interested in being in a relationship with you. And that's also when some people can be stuck, because it's like, oh, it's kind of like viewing you as an option that they could come back to. And now they could see that you aren't an option. And they might have found out that whatever they did go invest in, again, if they did get in a relationship with someone who's a little bit maybe more like them and not very loving and giving and nurturing, they didn't find it very fulfilling. Maybe because the people they went to go get in a relationship were like them, where they don't really give of themselves and have their own ways of living, and they could be very kind of closed off in a way where they don't really like give of themselves emotionally. But because of what they did, now they can feel stuck. And you have to be willing to get out of your pride and ego and speak the truth. And I think other people that had some lessons to learn, when they start to listen to their intuition and they have learned some lessons in life, they're not ashamed to admit, I made a mistake and I had lessons to learn and I kind of got caught up in this or whatever. And they communicate the truth to people. And they could communicate to other people in their life who they could have rejected or pushed away, that I had these lessons to learn. I learned these lessons. I'm not living my life like that anymore. Can we be friends again? maybe I never got in a relationship with you because, you had to make choices in life and I didn't choose to get in a relationship with you, or I got out of a relationship with you to get in a relationship with someone else. High vibe people are willing to admit the truth. And that can be why some people stay stuck. Because again, shadowy energy can be us being in our pride and ego. And some people don't want to admit the truth. And so because of that, it blocks them from maybe being able to get back in friendships and relationships with people because they're not willing to admit the truth. And the people who are the people that can reconcile those relationships with people. And some of you will reconcile yourself with different people in your life, that you could have kind of pushed away when you had some lessons learned in life. Some of those people will, if it's a friendship, it's pretty easy to extend grace to family members and friends. If it's a romantic relationship, it kind of just depends on how maybe the ending went. And like I say, some of the people who still are in denial of the truth, some of those people might communicate with some people that they just quit investing in that person and they're wondering if you want to get back in a relationship with them. And you're like, you might be kind and you might exchange some time, energy, and effort with them. But, because if people, you know, I don't know. I just don't know that we need, we've all made mistakes in life and we don't need to be belittled and braided. We want to encourage people to heal and grow and mature themselves. But if you feel like they really haven't, it's just like, I just want to come back and get in a relationship with you again, but they really haven't, they're still in denial of the truth. They're the same person they were when they left the relationship. That's when some people are like, yeah, no, I'm not going to get back in a relationship with you. But people who have had people who have learned lessons in life, have healed and grown and matured themselves from past experiences, those people see that people are no longer kind of in that more immature way of viewing life, and they could get back in relationships with them. So, high vibe people are offering people love, and if people want to move forward with them in that way and they're free to get in a new romantic relationship, they will. If people aren't communicating with them, then I wish you peace, and I'm going to keep moving forward, living my life, enjoying my life, exchanging resources with people in my life who do treat me in an insightful, just, fair, loving way. And if I'm not in a romantic relationship, that's okay. I'm going to go exchange time, energy, and effort with the people in the world who are like that. And eventually I'll meet people who are on the same page as me. What's coming up for some people who harness some high vibe Gemini energy that they might not see coming? We have the 7 of Wands and the Tower card because of the Death card. Well, 7 of Wands talks about you have gotten out of your ego about a situation. I accept that people are where they're at. Everybody has free will. Different people have learned lessons. Some people haven't. Some people are driven and motivated by certain things. I've moved on from it and I'm standing up for where I'm at. If people are in new romantic relationships, they're standing up and defending that relationship. The Tower can talk about having seen the truth of people's foundations. And the Scorpio Death card could be in a more worldly, kind of shadowy, more Taurus relationship and Gemini relationship. It can be a more superficial and shallow relationship, which is what Scorpio energy can talk about. And you're no longer interested in being in denial of the truth and being in relationships more for the ego or the image or the status or whatever. No longer doing emotionally shallow, superficial relationships. High vibe, Leo, I want to be in loving, authentic, warm, creative, inspired, hopeful, believing relationships based on love. And, again, we can get out of a relationship and we can do this work within ourselves. But Scorpio energy and the death card talks about it's emotional water sign energy. And we have these emotionally complex feelings towards people. I hate them. I love them. I don't ever want to talk to them. I hope they call me tomorrow. And it can take time, even if we're not exchanging time, energy, effort, or even communicating with them anymore. Emotionally, it can take time for us to work through all of that and really close out that old cycle in our life. And that could also be some people are just going to be finally getting out of these relationships because they finally see the truth and they've done this work within themselves to love and believe in themselves and get more balanced in their life, and seeing that some of the people in their life kind of seem not to want to work together with them in that way, and they're seeing the truth. And the tower can mean that for other people who've already gone through it. It's finally like emotionally detaching from it. And in your 10 of Pentacles, there are no pentacles over here anymore. You have taken them all back. I have no interest. They're just someone I know. There's that song, Someone I Used to Know. And then there's going to be other people in your life that you could have not gotten in relationships with before, or that you ended relationships with. And some of those people want to put an end to that ending. They don't want it to end. And there can be other people that it's like, well, now that I see that you seem to be completely detached from that other relationship, kind of no fear of you going back to that, now I don't want this relationship to end in the death card. And I am willing to move forward with you and have a victory with you, because I think you are someone who has learned these lessons, and we're standing up and defending, and we're going, and it could be shocking to some people that they're willing to blow up an ending, something that had ended previously, to get back in a relationship with you. Because for some people that you could know in your life, or get out of a different relationship that was maybe more emotionally shallow or superficial, they've learned some of the same lessons as you have. They also don't want to do more emotionally shallow, superficial relationships. High vibe Scorpio is like, I've transformed my life. I'm not the same person I was before, and I'm ready to go on this new journey with people who I do have equal give and take with from love, people who've learned lessons in life, people who have self-insight and self-awareness and have healed and grown, and they're very stable and loving and nurturing. And neither one of us want to be in relationships with people who want to be in denial of the truth, that they don't really invest in people, or they're more about themselves or the world. What's coming up for some people who harness some more worldly, shadowy Gemini energy that they might not see coming up? Oh, and also there will be people who are defensive to letting go. And because they're defensive of letting go of a more worldly view of life, those are people you're letting go of. So, what's coming up for the other people? The Seven of Cups, because of the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Cups can talk about emotional confusion. That's also Scorpio energy. There's some people that just think, oh, well, I can just create this illusion that I'm this loving, balanced, nurturing, supportive person who's more mature than I really am. And I can just keep confusing someone about the truth, maybe because I know they love me, and I'll just use the love that they have for me to kind of emotionally manipulate them. Because high vibe energy is about being truthful and honest and just and fair, and shadowy energy is more like trying to manipulate people to get what you want. I'm sure those people won't see the truth of me, and I'm sure those people, because they love me, will stay in denial of the truth, and they'll keep trying to balance things out with me. But eventually, some of the people in their life, it keeps causing them more and more mental conflict in the Seven of Swords. And they have this dream they want to bring into reality. And in the Seven of Swords is holding the Five Swords, which is like the dream. And they're trying to listen to their intuition, and they're doing this work to figure out, why doesn't the dream come into reality? And they start to look at life from a higher perspective and realize that, if people were interested in living their life that way, they probably would have been living their life that way all this time. And we kind of get out of our ego about it to see through the illusion. Quit letting the fact that we can love someone and we could wish they would move forward with us in a certain way, whether it's our siblings, our adult children, our parents, our friends. We wish we were all on the same page and we all wanted to be in deep, meaningful, just, fair, balanced, loving relationships, but not everybody in our life is at that stage of life, and it's not really what they're interested in, maybe. And eventually people kind of offer themselves that cup of love to look at life from a higher perspective. And am I willing to give up my dreams of how my dream relationship to settle for these people's idea of the dream relationship and keep staying in denial and feeling juggled, where we never are more independent of these things that manipulate us and we stay in it more out of fear or insecurity or things like that? And eventually people do this work within themselves and they offer themselves that cup of love to see through the emotional confusion of it and listen to their intuition and love instead of their fear and their insecurity and their pride and their ego. And they're no longer, they've worked through kind of the mental confusion of it and the emotional confusion of it. And they listen to their intuition to get to the truth. The 7 plus the 2 plus the 1 equals the 10. I've completed a cycle. I have learned the lesson I was meant to learn from this life experience. I have gotten more clear about what my truth is and isn't based on the people I was spending time with. And my truth is not their truth. And it could have taken me a long time to figure that out. And so right now, some of you already went through that. Some people could just be going through that. And then for the people who juggle, they're like, I think I can emotionally confuse this person that I'm in a relationship with that is more about money and materialism or status and image or fear or insecurity. And I'm going to go see if I can go juggle someone who's more loving. And some of those people in the Tower card might be shocked. Oh, you're not the same person, or you're not who I thought the kind of person you were. You're not kind of in your more immature, codependent nature anymore. Oh, shit. You learned how to love yourself? Fuck. I wonder if I can go back to that person that I was kind of juggling and that I kind of might have backstabbed in order to come get in a relationship with you. I wonder if they're still confused about the truth. I wonder if they've moved on, So that's why when people are coming towards us and people we meet, it's like, stop. Who goes there? I need to find out the truth of your foundation before I move forward with you in a relationship. Because if I know I am a loving, nurturing, giving person, I'm not going to let just anybody into my life until I get to know you to find out what the truth of your foundation is. And now that I've learned these lessons in life and I've learned to listen to my intuition, I can be in that hopeful, believing spirit, but there will be no moving forward and getting more involved in a relationship. The pages can be, I'm getting to know you as an acquaintance to find out what your truth is and what drives and motivates you and, what happened in the other relationship. And if I think you're trying to emotionally confuse me about the truth or being deceptive and manipulative, nope, I won't be investing in you. And I'm going to move forward. You're one more person that is off the list because I don't think you're telling the truth. And if you did work through the illusion and you did see the truth and you did look at life from a higher perspective and you are being truthful and honest and authentic, and you're no longer more in love with yourself or the world, and you want to kind of go on this adventure letting love and intuition guide you instead of fear and insecurity and ego, then you're the person I will be moving forward with. So, there you go, Gemini energy. I wish you peace, love. Oh, another thing that might happen with the shadowy people, if some people don't want to see the truth, that they kind of have some shadowy ways of being about them, eventually, or just a more ego, materialistic, or indulgent way of being, eventually, the just and fair relationship for them to get in, that they might get in, is someone who's more like themselves. Someone else who tries to emotionally confuse people about the truth. They also could have a lot of mental conflict about love. They also might be more like to live more from their mind than their heart. They also might be more about looking like a shining star in the world. They also might like to confuse people about the truth of who they are. And that is someone they should be in a relationship with. And if they can find someone who is kind of on the same page as them, it might cause them a lot of mental conflict because they're no longer in relationships with people who are maybe really loving and giving and nurturing and supportive. They're in a relationship with someone like themselves. And the point of that is to try to get them to see, well, now, this is what you align with within yourself. Now you're in a relationship with someone who's like that. Is this your truth? And if you're happy living your life like that, you're both on the same page. It's just and fair. It just might be more about creating this illusion in the world of what a wonderful, successful life we have, but it's all kind of a mental strategy than letting love and intuition, and they're also going to be repeating an old pattern. The other people have completed a cycle, and they're moving forward. They're not the same type of people they were before, but because these people don't want to see the truth, different people, different faces, but kind of the same relationship dynamic. So there you go, Gemini. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.